If you want to get rid of demons.
That is a different version of VeggieTales.
Crystals can make you smile. If you like to waltz with the Wiccans up and down the spell book aisle. Have we got a podcast for you? Sage and tail, sage and tail, sage. Hello and welcome. We are the Ladies of Strange. My name's Ashley.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Rebecca.
Join us each week as we discuss
The history, mystery, and theory.
Of all things questionable, odd, and eerie.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I'm really glad you came back. Much appreciated.
We love you so much.
So much.
all two of you. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Well, that's two people. Really, no one's watching for me.
We met our quota.
I don't think anybody is watching.
I mean, my cat can't use the internet, so it's fine.
Or watch this.
Because it's a podcast. She's the smart one.
Right? She's our Ravenclaw.
I've had a week, and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it was a short week / long weekend.
Just because the week started this morning does not mean it hasn't been a
been
long
long.
week.
So, Ashley, vacation. Was it awesome?
Yes, it was amazing. I think we briefly talked about it on the last episode, but we went to the beach for the long weekend for Labor Day weekend, and it was good.
Let's
It was
just
much
pinpoint
needed.
how early we're recording these.
It's fine. We're being proactive, okay?
Yes. So that we can slack off down the road.
Right? Because we know there will be times where we need to go on vacation or, children are apparently exercise.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Again, not a good idea. I don't know why I'm doing it.
It's like college all over again.
Yeah. But yeah, so we went to the beach for a couple of days with me, Hagrid, and then Bug, my 3-year-old son. And we met my mom down at their house in Florida. We had a freaking awesome trip. It was so nice just to go and relax and do nothing. We went into Panama City, which is the closest big city to where we were for a day. So we kind of got all the fun stuff out in Panama City. But for the rest of the time, it was just chilling on the beach and playing with Little Man. And then we found one of our little roadside attractions.
Oh.
On the way back. We saw it going down. And I was like, I'm intrigued. But of course, going there, you just want to get there.
Yeah.
And so we knew we'd be coming back that way. And on the way back, we drove past it again. And I told James, I was like, it's going to drive me bonkers if we don't go. We have to turn around.
What is this?
So we turn around. And I can't remember exactly what let me see if I have it, is actually called. World's first drive-through art and antique gallery.
Ooh.
Wait, it's a drive-through?
Yes.
That's usually not allowed.
So we pull up and it's like these shipping containers stacked on top of each other with a driveway going down the middle.
That's
all you can see from the road. That's what James's point. When I turned around, he's like, this is how serial killer movies start. Okay, what are you doing? I was like, it's noon on a Tuesday.
I host
fine.
a podcast. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm not taking my
And I was
3-year-old
like,
into a sketchy area.
It's fine. He's hooked in his car seat very well, I might add. The firemen have checked it. He's fine. So we pull in and there's nobody there. And I was like, oh, man.
It's because they're hiding and waiting.
Again, this sounds
Okay,
like
Hagrid, thank you. But then we noticed that there's just a little box in the first little trailer that you pull up to that say donations. So it's just like a roadside attraction and you just put money in there. And we start looking and all of the shipping containers have plexiglass windows, I guess, so that you can see inside of them. Okay, this place was weird, y'all.
Gee, I would have never have guessed.
Who could have thought?
They had little taxidermy scenes.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
And then they had
By cool, you mean creepy?
Yeah, creepy. And they had paintings that looked like portraits that people painted, but then they painted skull faces over them.
Oh, actually, that kind of intrigues me slightly.
So, and then like everybody had like written on the outside of the shipping containers and stuff, and it was just weird. And you drive in and there's 2 containers on the left. You go down and there's like a little loop-de-loo, and apparently in the middle, I thought they were like wrecking balls. Like the balls on wrecking balls that people had like painted that they'd set out in like the grassy area
Like on
right
the
there.
cranes?
Yeah, like the ball
Okay.
that's at the end of the crane. That's what I thought they were. No, apparently they were landmines.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
That people had like painted and left in the middle of this field. So you have to drive around those.
Again, why was this a good idea?
Oh.
And then we come back and there's this little hut that has road signs all over it with this weird, like Illuminati looking statue.
Totally not
in
a
the
murder
middle.
hut.
I mean, it was fine. We're still here. He might be like hanging out underneath my car, but we've gone so far from now on.
He's been
that-
holding on since wherever this was.
From Seal, Alabama. Seale, Alabama.
I am so glad you went by your house first before coming to mine in case he was chilling on the bottom.
You know, it's fine. I'm sure my dog scared him away if he was there.
True.
And that's a long ways to hang on. Like, if he was going to get me, he would have gotten me while we were in there.
I don't know. Murderers are pretty persistent.
That would have gotten hot. Like, hanging onto a car for like 2 hours? That would be toasty because we didn't
Also
stop again.
dangerous. That's
Either
very
that-
dangerous.
Oh, no, we did stop at a truck stop. So maybe he, like, hopped in a car with some guy. If I hear about somebody dying in Alabama or, like, Columbus, Georgia, my bad.
Those are 2 very different places.
Well, we went through Columbus. We stopped in Alabama and then drove through Columbus and stopped at the truck stop.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
sorry, not sorry. But anyway, so if anybody's ever in Steele, Alabama on US 281, I think was the highway that we were on.
That sounds right.
It's across the street from a Dollar General.
Legit.
That tells
Totally.
us nothing. This is the South. There's Dollar Generals everywhere.
And yeah, so my husband thinks that I'm like on track to have us murdered now because
You just really like roadside attractions.
we always stop at all the like random places, and I knew if I passed that one up, I'd be real upset.
Ashley got me and our friend Amber and my mom to stop at
The
Bigfoot
Bigfoot
Expedition
Yeah.
in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And it was a class act.
Right? It was amazing. Like, if you don't believe in Bigfoot, go and they will totally prove you wrong. It's so realistic.
Also, why are you listening to us if you don't believe in Bigfoot?
Right?
Fair.
Fair. / if you don't believe, hold on.
Ashley's
we will
got you, boo.
give me a couple more episodes and I'll hook you up.
Well,
But yeah, so that was our little treat for the day. And Dominic wanted to get out and walk around. I felt kind of bad, but I was like, no.
I'm okay driving past the murderers, but I don't want you out.
No, I'm
playing
not
with
just
them.
gonna like let you go frolic in a field of landmines and let the murderers come have
That's
free
solid
game.
parenting advice. Don't let your kids frolic around landmines.
Yeah.
Like, come
I mean,
on.
That's standard.
Maybe I shouldn't have become a parent. We'll
I do
see.
have to say,
All
I
right,
think
Ron Swanson.
I think my 2 favorite things from the murder museum were back to my little taxidermy scenes.
These were of animals, right?
Yes.
I just want to
Oh.
clarify.
Oh, that could have taken a turn.
They had skulls and bones and all sorts of other stuff in there too. My favorite one, they had some scene, I don't know what it was supposed to depict because I didn't get out of the car to get close enough to really look at it, but they had a little
Smart.
mouse and like a little stockade.
Oh!
And then, like I said, everybody like signed the outside of the shipping containers and there was like drawings on it and stuff. And somebody wrote, "Jesus loves you even if you poop." So I have a handful of pictures.
It's
and I'll
funny because
post
it's
that.
true.
Right? He always loves you.
Even
So
when you
I have a couple pictures. They're not of the highest quality, like I said, because it was against like plexiglass and I didn't want to get out of the car to get closer to see them.
Because that's how you get snatched.
I did get out to take a picture of the Illuminati statue, but other than that, I completely stayed safe in my car. I only minorly frolicked in the landmine field.
To be fair, Hagrid is very large, which is why we call him Hagrid. So you'd have.
He's really large and he didn't have his gun, so I might have been SOL if they snagged me. He would have been like, "What? Where'd you go?"
That's fine. That's fine. Bring her back when you're ready.
Yeah, they would have.
Oh,
But
hi guys.
speaking of,
Can
the
I write
dollar
this down
store-
for my podcast?
Right?
This would be great.
What's your names? Let me do a quick little interview before you start
Have
tearing
you done
me
this
apart.
before?
That
Is
would
this
be
your first time? How
great.
long have you been doing this? What's your occupation?
I'm going to record this just so I can send it to Rebecca and Tiffany. No pressure. Just be you. It's going to be chill.
And that's the
okay?
point she gets sent back.
Yes. It'll be great.
Get back to Hagrid. I missed such a good opportunity.
But speaking of the
Ooh.
Dollar General that we had to make a pit stop at, Dominic helped me pick you guys out. Super cheesy. And they're the same but different, so it really doesn't matter.
Aw.
They're just super cheesy
You're
little goodies.
so kind.
God. I love it.
And Dominic, oh yes, you got the one that he picked out for you guys too. How perfect.
Oh,
This is amazing.
wonderful.
So they're little, I don't know what kind of seashells they are. They're the
so
ones that kind of look like they have like leather spots on them and they're purple on the inside. We'll post pictures of them.
yes.
And one has a seahorse and one which Tiffany got, which is the one that we kind of picked out for her. And then Rebecca's has a little dolphin etched on it. And they're just
Aw.
cheesy
I
little
love
souvenirs. But
them.
my son helped pick them out for you guys.
This is amazing. It's sitting next to my microphone.
Yes, these are going to become fixtures in our recording studio. Well, at least mine is. Rebecca can take hers home if she wants. But
So my ramblings for 10 minutes. Sorry.
It's fine.
How was y'all's long weekend?
mine was fun. My 5-month-old has decided that sleep is not her thing. And I've had a lot of coffee over the past couple days. And I foresee lots more. So that was my weekend. Rebecca?
My parents visited me.
Nice.
We had a good lunch out.
So
we
they
did a
came
little.
to see the new place.
They did. Well, they saw it when they helped me move, but they, for some reason, wanted to come visit me to visit like the downtown area that I live in.
Because it's awesome.
It is really cool.
Well, one thing we didn't realize, they came on Sunday right before Labor Day, so everything was kind of closed.
Oh.
So-
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff is closed on Sundays too. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah,
small town.
Little small downtown area.
I also went to a brewery,
Ooh,
which was a lot of fun.
Did you go to the one up here?
We went to Scofflaw.
I haven't heard of that one.
It is, let me just pinpoint everything, Upper West Side
Okay.
in Atlanta.
Okay, that's not
Um,
pinpointing. We have to travel to get there,
Whereas y'all are like, Upper West Side? What does that mean?
right? Are you guys from New York? That sounds like a New York term. I don't
It's
know New York very well.
northwest of Midtown.
Again, sounds New Yorkish to me.
Because Atlanteans will appreciate this. I used to live ITP.
Sorry.
Yeah, I grew up in Peachtree Battle. Whoop whoop, living with my aunt.
So I was 28 years old when I found out that ITP is in the perimeter and OTP is out of the perimeter.
You were how old?
28.
So like,
Recently?
yeah.
Like, less than 2 years ago. Anyway, all right. So real quick before we get into my topic, poisons of the week. So I will start since it's my topic. My poison this week was actually kind of a Debbie Downer. I am like super off, super off. I quit a job that I had for 9 years. Then we started the podcast and I started a new job and I'm just not myself lately.
Lots of changes.
Lots
all
of
at once.
changes. And having a 5-month-old, your hormones are still like totally normal and back to
Totally
themselves. Yeah.
ready to jump back.
So my poison this week has just been trying to figure out how to get back in my right headspace.
To steal from Is This Adulting? Self-care is sexy. I'm sorry you're feeling not so
It's fine.
good.
I'll get there. I will
Yeah.
get there. I'm a happy person, so
So happy.
I'll get back to it. It's so happy it bothers Rebecca a lot.
It bothers me at 8 a.m. when the coffee is not kicked in yet.
Well,
Truth.
this will be a good one. We're together. We're recording.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And then you have big plans this weekend.
Yes, I am going to Louisiana to see a lot of my family. And by the time this airs, it will have already happened. We are planning a surprise party for my dad's 50th birthday,
Yes.
which was this past weekend.
Exciting.
So I am pumped.
So maybe that'll be like your little refuel. Get away for a couple days, spend some time with the fam.
Yes.
Have some extra hands to help with baby girl. And
Yeah.
Here,
it'll
Take
wear
her.
her out and she'll get back. That'll knock her back into her
Yes,
schedule.
the lack of sleep is probably like the biggest thing contributing
Right.
to this. So, but it's all gravy.
Good. So
Miss
Rebecca?
Rebecca.
I should have prepared for this.
Oh, you're the Tiffany of last week. Yeah.
I think my poison is just starting back at work after a long weekend.
Right.
Like, I love my job, but there's something about this week. Like, as soon as I started, I just kind of went, ugh.
Yeah. That's tough too to come back from when you just have that feeling and that reaction of like, why?
Like, don't get me wrong, I love what I do. This is not one of those weeks that I love what I do, though, for whatever reason.
It happens.
Mercury might still be in retrograde. I'm not sure how that works.
It is not in retrograde. Ashley is twitching. Mercury is retrograde. I only know that
and
because
I don't think
she
that
yelled
it is
at
right
me.
now. I think it starts in November. But, again, stay tuned.
Something somewhere in the universe is in retrograde.
It's not where it should be, and it's fucking we up.
Pretty much. That's my story.
And we're sticking with it.
Yes. Ashley, your poison.
My poison this week is...
Are you Googling something?
She's Googling her poison. Okay, Google, what is
my poison this week? No, I was trying to pull up and see when Mercury goes in retrograde again, and I couldn't
It
find
doesn't go
fast
in
enough.
retrograde.
When Mercury retrogrades again. See, look, I twitch it myself. We're all learning together. It's fine. Let's see. My poison this week is pumpkin coffee.
Oh, yeah, that's back.
Yes. That's back. Hence the reason that we were recording it is now, 8:30? And I have a large pumpkin iced coffee in front of me, even though I have been in the car and traveling all day, so caffeine probably will have no effect on me. But yeah, pumpkin. I don't want to say pumpkin spice because I'm not crazy about the pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks.
I had a pumpkin scone this morning.
And I like pumpkin stuff. Like, I like the pumpkin bread, and I like pumpkin pie is my number one pie option. And I like the pumpkin flavoring for, like, Dunkin' Donuts coffee. But pumpkin spice lattes, it doesn't even taste like pumpkin to me. It tastes like cinnamon and nutmeg.
That's because it's made from the spices that pumpkin pie is traditionally made from.
Yeah, but that's not the only thing that you can do with cinnamon and nutmeg.
I'm
just not a big fan of it.
In the fall it is.
That's all that you're allowed to use cinnamon with, and from September to November. That's it.
May I just point out that it is still technically summer, and it's my favorite time of year. And whenever pumpkin
I'm not
stuff
godding
out,
at you. It's so hot, and there's already pumpkins in front of the grocery store. It's September, people. Calm down.
I've totally, like, when we got home, I went into our laundry room to put clothes away out of the suitcase and saw my fall decorations and, like, started hanging some of them up as I was walking out of the house to come over here.
I know there are people who love fall, and don't get me wrong, I do too, but summer's my jam. I am a summer baby.
Maybe that's part of I know technically it is summer, but since
so
it is
am
rolling
I, but
into
I hate
fall,
it.
I wonder if that might be a little bit of your
Probably.
funk you got going on, is like that seasonal. I don't want to use depression because I don't think that's where you're at, but that might be a little bit of your seasonal funk is adjusting to all the changes.
Things are changing, and it's not a good, like, David Bowie change. Changes.
What?
Turn and face the strange.
I know the song. I'm just not going to sing it.
Okay. I was about to have to excuse myself from this podcast.
I live under a rock. There's a lot of things I don't know, but that I do know.
Okay. David,
I promise.
Okay.
As long as you know most of the musical icons.
I know who David Bowie is. I'm not a complete Neanderthal.
Do you know who Ziggy Stardust is?
Who?
Take that as a no.
What does that mean?
Because you said you know who David Bowie is.
Are they related? I don't get it.
It's his alter ego.
This is also the girl that had never seen The Labyrinth.
Like his drag persona, or
even though she claims to know David Bowie,
I
but
know
had never
his...
seen The Labyrinth.
Don't worry.
I don't know David Bowie. I just know he's there.
Oh, not anymore. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
I'm
Ziggy.
sorry. Let's sage this out.
Yes. We're going to sage out all the bad energy of Rebecca not knowing Ziggy Stardust. Okay.
Speaking of which, this subject is brought to you by
Sage.
Thank you for not saying Tiffany. I was like, there's a 50-50 shot. She'll just say, it's brought to you by myself.
By me.
Hi, everybody. You're welcome.
So,
The end.
Sage, what is it and why? What are we doing with it?
Well, I would like to start by saying that last time you heard our lovely voices, Ashley came prepared with a novel of notes, and I have handwritten and in cursive in big letters a page front and back.
It's pretty.
Oh,
now that
thank
your
you.
typewritten notes aren't pretty.
I have nothing against my typewriter. In case anyone was wondering, I sit and smoke my cigar and use my typewriter to type up my notes for
While
you guys.
listening to vinyl and only drinking fancy brewed coffee. I lost my train of thought. Let's do Sage.
All right. So, sage. Oh, Rebecca had notes on sage, and they're not out right now, which makes me really happy. Good.
You got this.
Oh, I'm glad you have faith
Keep
in
in mind,
me.
she has a brain.
She is not the scarecrow.
No, that would be other people in this room.
Looking at me.
Then which one am I?
In life in general, or out of the three of us?
I was going without it, the three of us.
You would be Dorothy.
Yeah.
Because-
Oh, I was thinking Tin Man, Scarecrow, Lion.
Oh. So we had to pick between the three of us? What
I
is
guess
it?
not.
Brain, heart, and courage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but
Do I need a heart?
Well, you don't need a heart, but out of the three of us,
Yeah, you use
That
your
is true.
brain for things. Ashley and I very much run on emotion.
yeah,
I'm a Ravenclaw. They are a Hufflepuff.
exactly. Well, and
They are a Hufflepuff.
They are.
I mean,
It's not
kind
wrong.
of.
So
20
I
years
think
of
that-
friendship.
Sometimes it's like talking to multiple mirrors.
Ooh, all right.
Creepy. So I guess
That was weird.
I would
Okay.
say that Tiffany.
Probably the lion.
So you guys are calling me stupid?
No.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no,
I
no,
forgot.
no.
Okay, actually, maybe I should be the
No,
scarecrow. I forgot about the scarecrow.
I thought she was
No.
a Scarecrow.
No, I would say that.
I think you're right, though. I think that you would be definitely more of. See, and I think that's more of it. Not necessarily saying I need a brain, but you guys lean more towards the other two. So by default, I feel like I would be the scarecrow.
Yeah, I'm definitely one that is like. I'm afraid of many, many things.
I'm not mad at it.
I'm
And-
sorry, I'm just laughing about the time I told you that salmon was both a fresh and a saltwater fish.
And my mind was blown. And I don't know why, because I knew that, but it just,
It's like you literally heard like her brain click into place at that moment. It was
yeah,
fantastic.
You know, at some point those neurons have to meet each other, and just that fact will never leave your head now. And you knew
If
this.
only I could do that with useful things.
Yeah.
That's very useful, coming from a fish eater.
so
Anywho.
sage.
Anyway, now that we're 30 minutes in, let's start talking about the subject.
It's fine. We can have as many tangents as you want because,
That's
again,
fair.
I only have a 1-page front and back of handwritten big letters. Let's do this.
So don't ask questions?
Sage, or as it's officially known, I'm going to pronounce this wrong because I did not Google how to pronounce it.
Is it Latin?
Sure?
Okay.
Yes, I'm pretty sure
It probably is, and I could probably pronounce it for you.
Sweet. Here it is on the top.
Let's see. Salvia officinalis? They pronounce their V's like W's.
Why is Ashley laughing so hard?
Back to that, me being the one without a brain thing.
Salvia. It's
I got all prepared because Rebecca was going to pronounce it, and I put my ear up to my microphone to hear her.
Wait, that's where you laugh. I have headphones for you.
I was like, okay, I'm ready.
All right, Scarecrow, let's go.
Okay. So, now that that's out of the way, I'm not going to pronounce my V as a W.
Okay.
So, Salvia officinalis. And officinalis refers to a plant with a well-established medicinal or culinary value, which sage has both.
Ooh. Ah.
I missed the cue there.
Rewind.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little tidbit about sage, and then we'll get into the fun stuff.
A factoid.
A factoid, yes. So, sage is a perennial evergreen subshrub and a member of the mint family.
So, perennial botanist, Rebecca. That means it blooms annually?
No, I think it
Doesn't
Kind
stop,
of annually?
right?
I think there's perennials and then annuals. So annuals die off after one season. Perennials keep going. Let me check Dr. Google.
Paging Dr. Google.
Lasting or existing for a long or apparently infinite time. So yeah, I was right.
Okay.
Hence, evergreen. Listen to my notes.
Sorry.
All right, Miss Snarky.
Jeez, if you only had a chill pill. God.
Oh my god.
All right. So, its leaves are gray-green, and the bottoms are nearly white due to the fine hairs on the bottom, because the bottoms are nearly white. Okay. Anyway. I am a scarecrow.
So hair is bottom white. Continue.
Yes.
Hair is bottom white.
The flowers are usually lavender, occasionally white, pink, or purple. And sage comes from the Latin word
Salware?
there we go, which means to be saved, which is super cool because we're going to, quote unquote, save this space from all the bad juju.
Why wouldn't it just be sage, this space? Okay, I'm sorry. Just asking.
It's also to save because it's medicinal and it saves people. But
That's also what it means when it's using that tense with the ER at the end. It's to.
Ooh.
Not that it matters. Continue.
Anyway.
If I only had a brain.
So, the uses date back more than 4,000 years.
Ooh. You missed it again, Rebecca. We
I
even
was
gave you like the
looking at
extended
you.
ooh.
I told you this week's not great for me.
Okay, third time's the
Fair.
charm. We're going to have another interesting
You're going to have to
factoid.
like wave at me and be like, prepare, and then I'm going to be way too early.
We're both going to do. Okay. So, the ancient Egyptians used it as a remedy for infertility, which I want you to remember that because I'm going to come back to it. They used it as treatment for diseases, and it was the main herb used in embalming pharaohs.
Ooh.
Yay!
I missed the third part.
And apparently the yay at the end.
It's okay.
What type of diseases do you know?
Dr. Google.
Infertility.
That's not it.
How about this?
Was I too early for remembering that one? Sorry.
It's fine. I will tell you what other people used it
Okay.
for.
Awesome.
But you don't know
Since
what
I
the
don't have that
Egyptians used
answer.
it for?
Yeah.
Infertility.
Embalming.
So my next note says, throughout history, sage has been considered a cure for almost all diseases. Let me give you some examples.
Oh boy.
It
I'm sorry. One of the podcasts I listened to, they're saying is cure alls, cure nothing.
I would have to agree with that, but let's let Sage
Resonant
tell us.
pessimist over here.
It's fine.
I feel like once we get to the point where, if we ever get to the point where we have merchandise, which I'm going to say once we get there, because positive thoughts, put it out there.
Are we gonna have like shirts for them to buy, like whose team they're on?
Yes. But we're
Waving
also-
hands and like, ooh, ah on the shirt.
No, I have like a resident psychic, a resident pessimist, and the wild card.
Hey,
Worst Western ever.
we won't.
The psychic, the pessimist, and the wild card coming soon to a theater near you.
Or a VHS, because that's how that works.
Straight to VHS. Yes, it's 2018. We went straight to VHS. Grandma, I hope you enjoy your free copy.
I still have a VHS player. Oh, right behind me, actually. Yes.
So we could totally broadcast a live reaction of our old Western.
We could. But I feel like when we do get to the point where we have merchandise, we're going to have shirts that say, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Ooh,
That-
Okay, so diseases?
Nope. Yes. Yes, I was right. Okay, sage. Da-da-da-da-da. Throughout history, sage has been considered a cure for most all diseases. It lowers body temperature. It's a cure for headaches, urinary tract infections, bladder infections, bowels, stomach, liver, gallbladder infections.
Is it antibacterial?
Yes? Question dot.
Because that's kind of how the only way I would think, yeah, check this not having a brain. But that's the only I would think that it would be that useful and help with that much stuff as if you had like a bacterial infection.
There's no way it could help with that many things because different bacteria cause different things.
Well, no, because I mean, like, I took the same antibiotic when I had a kidney infection and a UTI, and it worked both times.
Well, those are connected.
And strep throat, and...
So the ancient Romans considered it to be a holy plant, and they had to perform a certain ceremony to harvest it.
Huh.
All right. The collectors were put in clean clothes, they had to have clean feet, and they used a special knife that was not made of iron to prevent any sort of reaction with the sage. Before they started collecting, they had to offer a sacrifice of food.
Oh, well, that's not near as enticing as I thought it was going to be. I wanted some virgins.
I also love how the fact that they're clean
Yes.
makes it a special occasion.
I mean,
yeah, but who
ancient
wants to
times.
sacrifice food?
I mean, I would sacrifice olives. I don't like olives.
What's wrong with you?
I
love
don't think
olives.
you said this was the ancient Greek.
Romans.
Okay, similar. I don't know much about Roman food, but I know Greeks would never give up olives.
But I would. So Rebecca's twitching.
Are they not similar? Did I-
Where was Rome?
In a country that's not America. Y'all are making me
Rome?
sound...
Rome was in Italy.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Look,
I'm sorry.
why are you bringing up the hard
They
topics tonight?
they're both on the other side of the pond. It's fine.
Yes, they're not in America.
And a slightly smaller pond. It's fine.
2 ponds?
The Mediterranean Sea.
That would be considered a puddle. There's an old proverb that says, "Why should a man die who has sage in his garden? Because sage is a cure-all." Which Rebecca loves. Also, did you find our answer from Dr. Google?
Yes. Dr. Google / www. Look, I'm citing my sources. www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov.
Oh.
Says it has been reported that sage exerts a range of therapeutic activities, including antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and antioxidant effects.
Antioxidants done.
Ooh. Ah.
Yay!
I think the best part of that whole ooh ah was Tiffany's. That was her sound effect of her hand flying in the air.
I was signaling Rebecca. She missed the first one, so.
I was too busy thinking about what Ashley told us about sage and wondering how it can do all those things.
Because it's magic. Do you believe in magic?
Do you believe
in magic?
Oh, hold on, we didn't get an answer to that question.
Resident skeptic?
Very much a skeptic.
Well, you've just never experienced magic.
I think there's rituals you can perform.
David Blaine, where you at?
Do I? No. Do I think they do anything? They might make the air really smoky.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find out.
So, an old English custom states that eating sage in May will grant immortality. I don't know how that works. I actually tried to go down a rabbit hole with that one because I was super intrigued and I could not find anything else.
Eating sage in the month of May.
Yes.
So, Jessamy, what happens if you eat it in December, which is when everyone eats sage?
I mean, you don't live forever, but...
Have you gotten to the immortality comment yet?
Yeah, eating sage in May. Are you talking about infertility?
Yeah.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Okay. Sorry.
Hey.
Okay.
So, we're almost there. I'm just giving you a couple, in history, these things have been said about sage.
Okay. So, we need to eat sage in May and have it in our garden, and we could never get sick or die.
Well, if you have sage in your garden and it grows well, it is said that the wife rules the household.
Yep, so I need to grow lots of sage and eat it every May.
If the sage grows well, the business of the house will succeed.
So we need to grow sage here and eat it in May so that our podcast will succeed.
Yes, let's do it.
Does it literally mean the business of the house or just the home itself?
I read a couple different things that said the business of the house. So if I were the breadwinner, my business would do well. If Matthew were the breadwinner, his business would do well. Neither one of us are the breadwinner because we broke. But maybe we need sage.
So we need this podcast to do really well. Rate and review on iTunes.
Please love us.
All right. So here comes the comment about infertility.
Okay.
The ancient Egyptians used it to cure not immortality, infertility. But it is also said that a woman who eats sage that's been cooked in wine would never be able to conceive.
Ever.
Dum, dum,
Dum.
Unless that's your jam and
Yeah.
you don't want to have kids, then go have yourself some Merlot steak with sage on top of it.
That sounds delicious.
Almost found sage wine for this episode, and then I read that and I was like, oh no, I don't know.
That sounds awful.
Like
wine
fermenting and...
No, they have sage wines.
made from sage, fermented sage.
Sage is one of the ingredients.
Okay.
Not sure how the process of getting the sage in there occurs.
So does adding
but...
heat affect that? If you're cooking with it and cooking with wine and sage, does
but
that
it
matter?
specifically says cooking with wine. I wonder what...
Sage cooked in wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the process... That's interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting factoid as well.
So when you finally realize that, you're done with the babies, we will have a wine sage party.
Let's clarify when you're done having the babies.
Yes.
True.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't,
This is not an exorcism. I have a cat.
All right, so now we're getting to the fun part of smudging.
Yay.
Yay! So, the term smudging is a common name given to the powerful cleansing technique from Native American tradition. However, incense and aromatherapy and all of that have been used throughout history. So, it's actually the term smudging that comes from the Native American tradition. So, what we are going to be doing today kind of I don't want to say replicates the Native American tradition. It kind of
Feeds off of.
Yeah, I don't want to like disrespect.
Right.
Yeah, we're just going to be doing the adapted version.
Which is why we did our research and understood where it came from.
Yes.
First.
Right. So that we can be respectful.
Yes.
And stuff.
Brains. So, Catholicism uses incense and candles, like, very prominently. And I read that one of the reasons they do that is so that you get the smell of it, and like it brings you back to the thought of prayer. And like when you smell something, you know how like if you walk into a house and it smells like roast beef, you're like, oh,
No, I understand where you're going.
like
It's burning
home.
sage smells very much like something else.
Yeah, it does.
It really mellows you out, man.
So like we were talking about people use it during prayer to like reminisce.
No, people use like incense and candles and that aromatherapy.
Okay.
Not necessarily sage, but
Gotcha.
like
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what are they doing? And can I join?
Right.
My greatest respect to. Anyway, I'm stopping.
So apparently I need to look into Catholicism. Their Bible studies sound great.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Look, okay, we don't mean any disrespect. That's your thing. That's your thing. So,
Yeah, I would be very shocked to find we had any like majorly devout Catholic. Never mind.
I
I'm
wouldn't
stopping
be.
on this tangent.
yeah. To each their own. Anyway, so when I mentioned sage to you guys, both of you at some point were like, well, you know, the topic I'm not going to be doing first isn't like about spirits or anything bad, like bad juju wise. But what I read said that it's not just used for like cleansing bad juju. It's good to cleanse a new space or office and cleanse regularly. It just kind of, it's like maintenance.
So it's like cleaning your baseboards.
Yes.
Except easier.
And we may actually continue to do this one.
Yes. When you said that, my first thought was, oh God, I haven't cleaned my baseboard since I was pregnant and my grandma told me to.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I don't think I've ever cleaned my baseboards.
That's why Rebecca's back is to the blinds so she can't see how dirty they are. Turn back around, woman. So, even if you don't believe in bad juju, which I am a big believer in bad juju, sage has been proven to absorb... Oh, Ravenclaw, you ready?
No. Sorry.
Sage has been proven to absorb up to 94% of airborne bacteria.
So it is
Ooh.
antibacterial.
I didn't remember my notes. You were right, Ashley.
Boom.
Yes. Big boom.
Figurative mic drop. Not gonna
Yes.
do that to y'all's ears.
I appreciate that. The smoke from dried sage actually chemically changes. Nope.
I need to go to bed. I thought the smoke from dragons. I was like, "Ooh, tell me more."
It's very magical. The fact that it comes from a dragon. Where did you get that?
Dragon sage
And it's dangerous.
sages.
No, dragon smoke.
Yes,
I
smoke
don't think
inhalation
it's the
is
smoke
very dangerous.
that you have to worry about from dragons.
True.
You know, claws, massive weight,
Fire.
fire, possible magical properties.
Oh, there's a
Ooh.
slight. You heard that slight, that possible
Yes. Our resident skeptic.
believes in dragons.
That's
You heard it
not
here
what
first,
this
folks.
means.
All right. So the smoke from dried sage actually changes the composition of the air, in turn reducing our stress response. So it may not clear bad juju if you're not into bad juju, but it does mellow you out, man.
Maybe poltergeist are really just like bacteria.
Ugh, I hate that
They
word.
just get like sucked into the.
See, you thought bacteria. I thought they enjoyed smoking.
Mellowing
Don't you
out,
feel like that would
man.
draw them in? They'd be like,
Yeah, but they'd be really chill about it. And instead of just like rattling your blinds, you just hear reggae in the background randomly.
This
Don't
poltergeist.
worry about a thing. That's the poltergeist I want.
I mean, if Bob Marley's hanging out in my
Anywhere.
yeah
Life.
in my life. We're
He
doing
came
good.
all the way over from Jamaica just to come haunt us.
In our studio. Because we have a studio. So, that's all, like, the technical woo-wah I have, because...
That's my favorite part.
The technical woo-wah?
Woo.
Wah.
See, you didn't wave your hand, so I completely missed that one.
It was a woo-wah, not a ooh-ah.
Yeah, we didn't want to confuse you.
That's-
Wait till we throw in the toot-ha.
What is that? Never mind. When can we set things on fire?
Toot-ha. Post haste.
Post taste. So, we are going to learn how to...
Rebecca just sniffed the sage bundle and had the reaction a cat has when they eat something they don't like. Her nose scrunched up and her tongue went out like, ugh.
I am basically a cat.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why we like you.
Except for the fact that she's a Gryffindor, but you could be Professor McGonagall.
Yeah.
Ooh, ah. Didn't we have that discussion about like who would be in Harry Potter and we were having trouble coming up with people?
Who were we? I just got a whiff of that sage. Who were we?
Fred and George?
Fair.
Fair, yes. But I don't think for some reason I feel like we tabled that one. But
Yes.
See, don't take this personally, but I can totally see y'all as like being best friends in the movies, except that you're those two Hufflepuffs who are kind of in the background, like doing things, like the main story's going on, but you're like doing your own thing. Like
I don't
during
take offense to
like
that.
during the Quidditch matches, you're the ones like cheering on for your team hardcore,
And
like,
it's really Gryffindor and
and-
Slytherin.
and like during the Battle of Hogwarts, y'all are like turning Death Eaters into turnips or something like that.
we're hiding. Let's be real.
Hi, I'm a
Tiffany.
lion.
Okay, so Tiffany be trying to turn them into turnips, and Ashley be like, "No, let's go."
No, I
I'd be
think
like,
that would be...
let's go find the chocolate so we can help everybody out.
When in all actuality, Ashley and I would just be hiding behind the bleachers playing Barbies. It's fine.
Welcome to our impromptu fan
Oh my
fiction.
god, if we were witches, we could like bring them to life.
Bring what to life?
The Barbies.
Oh God, that would be terrifying. Why
We're
would
go-
you do that?
We're going to
That would
have
be
to
amazing.
table this one because Ashley and I are going to get real into this.
Yeah, Barbies and Harry Potter.
Oh, man. So, here's how you smudge. I read a bunch of different... I read a couple things because I don't research very well.
I googled like 2 articles and
I Googled like 10 different articles
Oh,
on how
wow.
to
How many
smudge.
pages? That's one page of Google.
You never go more than 2 pages deep. Never
That is
more
true.
than the tip.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
You can cut that. I just wanted to say it and see a reaction.
Nope. That's
No.
staying in.
No. Sorry, Ma. I read like 10 different how-tos on how to smudge, and they were all a little different. But the main gist from it, I'm trying to like talk into my microphone and read my notes. I'm not a smart Hufflepuff. You will need your sage or your smudge stick, which we have a bundle of sage, but we're going to be using it like a smudge stick.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, I know the answer to this. Okay. So a bundle of sage is just what we have here, which our listeners can totally see.
Yes.
It is.
It looks like dried leaves bundled in string.
It looks like asparagus.
It does look like
Really
asparagus.
sad asparagus.
Well,
Aw.
You know.
Oh, it looks like the little guy from VeggieTales.
Yes.
Oh, what's
Junior.
his name? Junior.
Okay. So
Spot the church kid.
our sage bundle is Junior from VeggieTales. It's just sage bundled up with twine. A smudge.
Now I might feel kind of bad lighting him on fire.
Well, then-
Help me! Oh, poor Junior.
we need to come
He
up
lived
with
a
a
good
song.
life.
So our
A
smudge.
sage song? If you like to get rid of demons.
That was really good.
Thank you.
She's really good at impromptu songs.
Yes.
All right. So as I'm saying this, I'm realizing what I'm saying is wrong.
Hey, at least you realized. We can back it up.
Oh, you're so excited.
Never mind my beautiful song.
Oh, that's staying
We're
in.
keeping that because it was beautiful, and our listeners need to get to know me. So
Welcome to Tiffany's episodes where everything's a train wreck.
Oh.
And no, I didn't mean it that way. I was trying to continue, but then you
So
made me
Rebecca
nervous.
has this thing where she calls us fat and ugly and tells us we're train wrecks.
No,
and-
that's not how that happens. I'm sorry.
Rebecca-
do you realize how self-conscious I was that I came over here without makeup today? I'm like, Rebecca's gonna judge me.
No. No.
So Rebecca's really sweet and just we like to twist her words.
I just have foot and mouth syndrome a lot.
Hence the reason we said that she didn't have a heart.
accurate.
Again, heart isn't tied to common sense.
What?
Heart doesn't tie
To common
I
sense.
thought you said Antarctica has no common sense. I was like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
My episodes really are a train wreck.
And in
Sorry.
case anyone is curious, not a single one of us has had a drop of alcohol today.
Unlike last time.
No.
This is interesting.
Yeah. This is also why we're recording Sage a second time because we tried to do it after the first episode.
No.
Rebecca's cutting that out because we don't need to speak of that.
Yeah, that was bad. Okay. So, somewhere back in there, we were talking about Sage
The
smudge
difference
sticks.
between a smudge stick and a bundle.
A bundle is just a little sage bundled up with twine. A smudge stick is lots of sage bundled with twine. Actually, I think that's wrong. We're gonna pause so I can Google this. Dr. Google.
Topic number 2.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna ask the difference between the two of them.
Someone will.
Not that it's me or anything.
Like, you guys are making me do research. Like, this is all
I
specific
got you
Okay.
a notebook.
You
I
have
know.
had a month and a half.
I had this all done. It was not in my notes. My notes were complete. Okay.
Speaking of,
not
did you
true.
skip over the part about them having to wash their feet?
I was surprised nobody asked more questions about that.
I didn't hear you say it this time.
Oh, jeez. I'm
I
sorry.
remember the virgins.
Oh, you were Googling antibacterial properties.
That's
of
right,
sage.
you were.
Bastards. I
But-
missed the feet.
Oh my god. Stop staring at me.
All right.
I just can't.
So we're Googling VeggieTales
Franken celery.
while I was Googling smudge stick versus sage bundle.
Okay.
Basically,
So
good luck to you editing all of this, but
Okay.
we got to keep the song in.
So, smudge stick versus sage bundle.
Yes.
Difference.
A sage bundle is just a tiny little one that you use a shell with and a feather, or you can use your hand to kind of waft this smoke around.
Okay.
A smudge stick is larger and you use it as the fan itself. You just kind of like waft it through the air.
Good to know.
Yes.
Okay.
See?
It
Look at
just
you
took me a
learning
minute to get
stuff.
it all out. I actually gave up on Google because my phone's broken and I can't like type on certain parts of the screen. So
Why are you handing me your phone? I have a phone.
It-
Remember
you
that one?
Did
Like-
Rebecca figure out how to cut and paste?
I hope so.
I really hope so. I'm so sorry. All right.
I wonder how we can get the VeggieTales as our intro.
We may just need to record that separately. Just-
Okay.
All right. So you're gonna need your sage,
Okay.
either in a bundle or a smudge stick form.
It's a stick.
No, it's a bundle.
Or a stick.
Not to be confused with the sage stick. It's a stick.
Yes.
There's a difference.
I am shocked nobody's drinking wine right now.
Right? I drank far too much alcohol with
Isn't
my
that-
mother last night.
Isn't that terrifying? This is us as normal.
Yay.
As normal. This is us as normal.
Pretending as hard as we can to be
We're
normal.
trying.
All right.
Not really.
So a sage bundle is used. What we're going to be using today
Mhm.
is used with a shell and a feather or your hand, and you kind of waft the smoke through the air with your hand or the feather. A sage smudge stick is wafted itself. You don't need a feather or hand. You will also need, since we're doing a bundle, we're going to be using a feather to waft the smoke around. We will have a shell, which has dirt from outside of my house in it to extinguish the smoking.
Why
Say thank
dirt
you.
from outside your house?
Because one of the places I read, and only one, and I wasn't sure if it was legitimate or not, but I thought it was cool, so I was like, yeah, we'll say this is right.
Right?
Said that if you use the dirt from outside of your house, it kind of helps ground everything and put more emphasis into the ceremony.
Okay, that logic makes
Interesting.
sense.
Ah, yes, cool.
She believes in magic.
That's not what I said.
In a young girl's heart.
See, I can defend flat Earth. Like, sometimes it's just fun to do silly things.
To all our flat earthers out there,
No.
we
I might want to cover it up.
Oh, okay. If you want to cover that,
support
cool.
you.
I support.
I will be an ally.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Not a flat earther, but you do you, boo-boo.
Go Glen Coco. Anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Let's not start that again.
So, a couple things I read said it's best to use candles, and you don't want to use what we are going to be using.
I can't see.
It's grill, like large
A
clicky
grill lighter?
Yes. So,
You're telling me you don't have a single candle.
oh, my husband is a candle.
Why is it
Being.
always the guys who love... I mean, I love candles too, so not a good point I'm making right now.
Anytime we go to the grocery store and they've got their 10 for 10 sale going on, Matthew goes hog wild
So
on
why are we not
candles.
using a candle instead of a lighter? If
Because
Matthew has gone hog wild.
last time...
That's what he likes to do. He likes
I
to
could
get some
not.
time to himself and like light some candles.
Because the candles we have are like in containers and we'd have to like...
As opposed to just being, free roaming.
Free range
Free your
candles.
candles, Tiffany. How dare you lock them in their jars?
So why is it important to use a candle and not just like a light stick?
Take the light stick away from Rebecca.
Click, click, click. I like fire.
I'm not...
I might not have caused explosions in my labs. It's fine.
It's fine.
In my labs.
You laugh, but I literally did that.
Why are you so smart?
I don't know.
You start explosions in your labs. I almost catch my house on fire trying to make macaroni when I'm
I mean,
inebriated at 3 a.m.
the lab tech was not happy with me.
Slash have a roommate that almost burns the house down. Enjoying themselves.
So if we ever get a Patreon, we will have stories about that.
Yeah, at the $50 level, you can hear that story.
50? Oh no,
Oh,
he
no, no,
has
no.
no shame. That'll be like, just give us something. Anything. Tell us we're pretty on Instagram and I'll tell you the story.
Granted, that'll work on most of us for most things.
Yeah, feed us and tell us we're pretty. Oh, that just
God.
sounds like we're whoring ourselves out, ladies. We're all spoken for happily. Sorry. Rebecca will catch you on fire. Tell her she's pretty and she'll light you on fire.
Don't put that out there
Rebecca's
because
a dragon.
oh.
I was going to say April Ludgate, but that's good too.
Fair.
All right. So what we are going to be doing is
So you don't have a single free range candle?
go check in my bathroom on the bathtub.
Finish this section and when we pause to smudge, we will go
Okay.
on a candle hunt.
Where were we at? The difference between a candle and a lighter?
I was really hoping we'd pass over that because I don't have an answer.
Okay.
Is it like the gas?
Is it like
I don't know.
organic
It's
fire
more-
versus inorganic fire?
What I got from it
Do
was
we need to go rub two sticks together and get this
If
flint
we're
started?
rubbing two sticks
Get
together,
this
I'm
flint
going
started.
home.
Whoa, fine.
Well, it would take us forever, and not just because we'd be
You
bad
don't
at
know
it.
me. I was a Girl Scout.
They did not. They covered that in Girl Scouts.
I don't remember. I was in it for the cookies. Let's be real.
I was a Girl Scout long enough to find out that you don't get to keep the cookies, and that was it for me.
I was a Girl
out.
Scout once and a brownie.
I was
Oh
sorry.
no, I was a
Rent.
brownie. I never made it to
Rent quote.
Great movie.
Now
I
I've been
never
a
saw
Boy
the play.
Scout, and that makes me mad.
So now that you've found your source of fire, i.e., me,
Rebecca really wants to light something on fire. So what I got from the whole candle versus inorganic fire, as you call it, the gist I got was it kind of felt, this is probably not the right answer, but what I picked up from it was that it's more like a connection with organic.
We need to get if
It's
you
a
have
feel.
a white candle because a
Earth,
white
wind,
candle
fire, water.
is for purity and new beginnings. So that would be a good candle to use to
Earth,
light.
Wind, Fire, Water.
I
It's
don't have
the-
a white candle.
Avatar.
Where does the water come into play?
Earth. Nope.
Nope, that's the fire aspect.
Fire. Wind is just everywhere, and then
Wind is the feather.
Earth and fire.
Yeah, but where's
I mean,
the water?
sea. I'm holding a seashell.
Oh.
See, I had a point. It just took me a second to get there.
So I did read a couple things that talked about incorporating all the elements, but I was distracted and moved on.
Don't light yourself on fire, please. Is
I'm
that
not.
sitting in your lap and I heard you click it?
Sorry, Mom.
I also read a lot about using directions, like the more traditional Native American ceremonies have you like starting off facing like east, and then you move this direction, and that direction you do up, down, all this. That got really complicated.
It's
and
probably more of like a ceremony.
Yeah, and I figured if I tried to replicate that, I would just
Not.
yeah, it would be bad and it would be more disrespectful than me
Right.
trying to actually do anything. So didn't want to go down that road. So when you sage, so I made notes thinking we were going to do this during a full moon. It is no longer a full moon. But it did say, like, the time you sage and all the different, like, phases of the moon can affect your saging ability. And a great time to do it is during a full moon, because sage is used to wash off the outside world when one enters a sacred place. And the full moon represents a shedding of the old to make way for the new. Cool, huh?
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up to see we're in a waxing crescent phase.
Let's pretend
Right
I know
now.
what that means. What does that mean?
It's after the new moon, so I believe it's when the moon is coming back from
What are you pointing? The piss
the
off I'm
new
reading
moon
pillow?
Twilight book is what she is pointing at.
Oh, because we'd obviously get that. None of those. Never mind.
A waxing crescent is when
Waxing
it's
is full
almost
removal.
okay. It's right before the new moon, so it's almost gone again.
Okay.
So like you have the full moon, and then it goes to a waning gibbous,
That one?
that's a waxing crescent. Yes. So if you start from the left, you have a full moon, and then I like how you guys can see what we're talking about, and then that's gonna be a waxing. Nope, actually that's a waning gibbous. So your thing is backward, and then that's a third
Rebecca
quarter
bought it
in
for
the
me.
middle.
It's from
And
Amazon.
then a waning crescent. So that's actually a waning crescent, not a waxing crescent, because it's coming in, not going out.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
We can take all of that out.
Rebecca, you're going to have so much fun.
I'm going to have to paste those together.
All right. So now it's time for the fun stuff. We're going to sage, which I am going to go grab a real candle because it's a waxing crescent moon and there's wax in a candle.
Speaking of not disrespecting anything,
Thank you.
I try. I just can't
Let me
help
know
it.
what color options you have, and we can see what they stand for and see which
and
one
also
we
if you
want
have
to use.
anything pine scented, I just prefer that for no reason. It just smells really good.
Pine and sage.
I mean, it's about to smell like pot up in here, so sage smells an awful lot like pot. Not that I would know what that smells like.
Yep.
right.
Same.
All right, candle choices. Go.
I gotta go look.
That's I know. That's
Oh,
what
okay,
I said. Go.
got it.
So we have acquired candles because we need organic fire, but apparently not free ranging because these are in little glass containers.
Yes, we have to keep our candles. They're not quite trained yet, so we have to keep them.
No, sorry. On the bottom of one of these says to prevent fire or injury. The whole point of this is to have a fire.
Okay, so this one, we're looking at the candle color options that we have and deciding which color we would like to use for the saging. I have a peach candle, which says that it is good for working on restoration and rejuvenation.
I feel like we need that.
Tiffany.
Hey.
It is especially good to gently help a person through a ritual regain their vitality after a long, debilitating illness without overtaxing the body system. There's also a white, which is like balance and purity.
We need that too.
And then there was what's that other one? Red, like a deep red. Red is supposed to be like love and sexuality. And then we have a blue as well, which is spiritual healing, memory, communication, truth, peace, calm, harmony, inspiration, patience, health. So that's like an all-over balance. It is considered to be the best healing color for rituals that involve healing.
The
But
blue.
we're really doing more of like a cleansing.
Yeah.
So I would say either the peach or the white, probably.
I say let's go with the peach because the white, yeah, that's cool, but it's really sweet smelling. I'm all about the sweet
Okay.
or the smell.
Jeez, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Bam!
I got excited because I reached for the lighter.
It happens.
All right. Did somebody stick their finger in that? Because the soot along the edge definitely has a fingerprint in it. I just don't want it smudged all over the house. Heh.
Smudge.
This got really
Whew.
really fast.
Tiffany, what kind of candles you got there, my love?
Matt's really into candles.
Do you see this though? There's like a mini fireplace in this one.
I mean,
And it's kind of sparking, like it's got flu powder in it or something.
that one was sitting beside the bathtub because I like to take candlelit bubble
So it
baths.
might be a little damp.
Well, it probably has my hair in it because my hair gets everywhere.
The wick is just long.
That works too.
Okay, Ravenclaw. I'm like, flu powder! Hair! No, but it's just got a really long wick.
All right, I pulled up what I needed to pull up.
Fire.
Ooh, Rebecca has already lit the fire. I'm
Because
so
I am
happy
an
for you.
overachiever. who is also dangerous.
All right, cool. Welcome to the club. All right, so
I feel like we need to get a set of just like a rainbow set of pillar candles that are unscented for
Okay.
things like this, because that's
yes,
where like
That'd be cool.
because that's where
We
that's
need a
generally what you use when you use candles. It's just unscented, like the tall, fat pillar candles. And I can do a whole episode on the different meanings and what they're
Please
used
do
for
that.
if you'd like.
I like that a lot.
I'm just
Yes.
adding to my list, y'all. I'm making you a lot of promises on this episode. Remind me,
Anyway,
and I'll
so
do it.
we have fire.
We have fire.
We have a sage bundle.
yes,
We have a shell full of dirt.
from my house,
From
I've
your
got a shell of-
garden.
from my garden.
I've got a shell of dirt. I've got a shell of dirt.
I have fire.
And guess what's inside it? Good intentions.
All right, so we got 2 theme songs. Ooh, yes.
And guess what's inside it?
Oh, I like this side of you. Ah,
The sober side?
I don't see it often. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Well, what we're going to do with saging, we're going to smudge this area.
Okay.
The thing to remember when doing this,
Sorry.
the most important part of it, we can get little minor details wrong on how to do it because everybody has different interpretation. The big thing is you want to make your intentions clear when you're doing this. So before we start saging, I want you to think of, we're not going to focus on like cleansing bad juju because we just started in here. I just want to kind of fresh start. So think of what you want to do with this.
I was about to start singing again.
You can sing a song in your head.
Think of a wonderful thing, any happy little thing.
Copyright strike.
Come at me, Disney. That's not going to be the last time I quote your beautiful music. So,
Okay, so good intentions.
Good intentions. And as we start saging the room, I just want you to like put that out there as much as you can. Just focus on that. Don't focus on your day, your week-long day, the fact that you're going back to work tomorrow. You're welcome. Or that I'm in a funk. We're just focusing on good intentions, okay?
Okay.
So, how do we want to do this? Are Ashley and I going to walk around saging and you're going to give the lowdown, or
Sure.
cool? Or we can just sage and,
But
Come
so
at
we
it
can
afterwards.
Sage, like right here, above the table.
well, you want to focus on entry points
Okay.
and definitely focus on corners and any shadowy spaces.
because nothing in particular would like to hang out in those.
Nope.
Nargles.
What did you just say? I
Nargles.
thought you said narwhals. I think I still have sand in my ears. Slash, I was on vacation with the toddler this week with my husband, so I was like, I don't hear him. If you hear him, he must be your responsibility right now.
See, if you would wear your headphones.
It's weird.
I know it's weird.
It's fine. You don't need them.
All right.
All right, so let's attack it, and we'll let Rebecca edit
So
whatever
you should
she
be able to
feels
speak
best.
loudly-ish because there is a baby sleeping 2 rooms over, and I should be able to pick up enough of it.
She's a solid sleeper. Well,
Most
not
of the time.
lately. All right.
All right.
Do it.
Let's sage it out.
Give me a sec to get up, because my bum might be asleep. Between a 6-hour car ride and sitting on a wooden chair, and there's a lot of bum.
I got a turkey feather. Ashley's shaking her tail feather.
Speaking of which, good intentions.
You're on the floor. Oh, it was me squeaky.
And now we just have 20 minutes of this floor squeaking.
Sorry, Rebecca.
It's fine.
All right. Hopefully you can look back and smile.
All right.
Of a wonderful. All right. So, does everybody have their good thoughts? Your good intentions?
Mhm.
Take a second. Ready?
So right now, Ashley is wafting the feather to waft the smoke, and Tiffany is going around the door, which is the entryway to the studio. That's around all the monsters hide.
Will you open the closet? Positive thoughts. I thought you asked if we went in. No, we are going into the closet.
Okay. No, there is saging inside the closet, just in case. You never know.
That is one thing they said to do. Is be sure to get closets whenever you like.
Because that's an entry point, or because it's a closet?
There are a lot of dark spaces in corners.
They're thoroughly saging the closet. And now they're getting the windows, and around the entire room, into the corners, and all the dark spaces.
All right.
Ta-da.
Now we're going to take this dirt from my garden and put out the fire.
Now the room is cleansed and smells like sage.
Quote unquote sage. It smells very eerily similar
It
to
really does.
marijuana.
I wouldn't know.
Marijuana?
Have you ever been to a concert? I went to the Jimmy Buffett concert, okay? I know what it smells like.
Fabulous. So we have now saged our studio. I had very good intentions. I hope you both did as well. The look on Ashley's face worries me.
I mean, I didn't have bad intentions.
Okay, well,
It wasn't like, I hope this fails. And the juju is all negative.
I appreciate you not doing that.
Yes.
Same.
Excellent. All right. Oh, I just freaked myself out. Sorry. My foot touched my ankle and
So
Something just touched me.
the sage doesn't work. It works on external influences, but not self-inflicted influences.
yeah.
Yeah, if you go around a corner and find a mirror and freak yourself out, sorry.
Oh,
Then
no.
maybe you should move the mirror. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Or realize there's a mirror there.
Yeah, I would freak myself out with that. The
Yep.
less mirrors, the better. Okay. That's my segment. Ta-da! Oh, God.
I should just cut that and put it at the end. That's my segment. The end.
Few things that I forgot to mention before. White sage is what most people say you should use.
For smudging?
Yes.
Okay.
However, garden sage, a lot of the places I read said that's fine too. It's best if you're going to use garden sage to use sage that grew in your own garden though.
Okay.
And it's best to use, whether you use white sage or garden sage, it's best to use sage that was picked, not necessarily like not mass produced.
I know what you mean.
Thank you. Because the intent, even when cultivating it, is important. Yes.
So that goes back to the whole preparation in picking and...
Yeah. The Romans were onto something.
It also makes
Not
sense
the
that you want to
Greeks.
grow it in your own garden because then you're also homing it better. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Well,
It's like when we
kinda
were
link
grounding.
Back, yeah, it
Yeah.
links back to the whole grounding, bringing it full circle. That's interesting.
That's what I do.
So I think it all is all intention.
Absolutely. And
So for any non-believers that may be out there, it's kind of one of those things that could be taken as mind over matter
yeah.
kind of thing. Just another thing to do to clean.
Well, like it might not be physically doing anything, but the state of mind that you're in while
Right.
doing it is probably very
It's
good
kind
for
of like
you.
a meditation,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you know, and like you have that mindset of starting over and bringing in new. So that alone could kind of help. And then going back to the whole scent recognition,
yes.
you know, might be one of those things that as you do it more frequently, it kind of automatically puts you in that mindset of cleansing and starting new. So
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I like it.
I do too.
I'm
The smell.
glad.
Yeah, definitely. Probably open a window.
Yes. So that was something else it said. Glad you brought it up. You definitely want to like air out and give the if you were cleansing any bad juju, give it an escape route.
Okay.
So I'm gonna open the windows real quick.
Yes,
So
thank you.
open it towards the neighbor that you don't like.
If any of my neighbors happen to ever listen to this, I like you all so far.
I'm sorry, that was mean. I
So-
don't wish ill on.
Oh no,
I don't want to say anyone because there's a few people that deserve it. I don't wish ill on many people,
There we
so
go.
don't take that.
So if my neighbors are listening, she most likely doesn't wish ill on you.
I don't know you, so don't be a jerk, and I won't wish ill on you. So Tiffany is opening. We've got 2 windows on in our studio. You don't care where they are. We have 2 windows in the studio. Just gonna open those to air out and bring in the fresh air and let out the negative.
So we have let the bad juju have an escape route.
Goodbye, bad juju.
Goodbye, bad juju.
See you never in this studio.
Alrighty. So that's my segment.
Awesome.
Good job.
Oh, thanks. Well, good.
Well, I'm next.
Yes.
And I'm not telling you what I'm doing.
Dang
Boo.
it.
We'll plug our ears. You can tell them.
La, la,
I'm not
la,
doing
la,
that
la.
either.
Oh, as Tiffany has her headphones on.
La, 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 la.
I guess we'll have our mystery subject next week, brought to you by Rebecca Ravenclaw.
Mrs.
Yoda.
Pessimism.
Resident skeptic.
Resident skeptic. That sounds better.
Mrs. Pessimism. So maybe we should have waited to Sage until after Negative Nancy
I'm
did her
sorry.
topic. Negative Nancy.
Oh, we need intro songs for each of us.
We really don't.
Oh, man.
Instead of introducing ourselves at the beginning of the episode, it's like the Mickey Mouse Club, and I'm Ashley.